Alex adjusted the cufflinks on his crisp dress shirt, a nervous habit that betrayed the calmness he projected. Glancing around his cluttered home office, his eyes landed on a hidden compartment in the closet. Inside, a vibrant red dress gleamed, a secret yearning taking hold. This Friday was different. Today, Alex wouldn't just dream, he would become Tammy. Dawn, his wife of 10 years, entered the room, her laughter trailing behind her. "Lost in thought again, honey?" she asked, her eyes crinkling at the corners. Alex started, quickly shoving the vision of the dress down. Their life together was a comfortable symphony of routine. Mornings began with the gentle clatter of coffee cups, evenings spent curled up on the couch with a shared book. But beneath the surface, a quiet yearning simmered within Alex. A yearning for a life in Technicolor, a life where he could exist not just as Alex, the reliable husband, but also as Tammy, the woman he felt like in his heart. Hints of this hidden desire had always been present. A stray tube of lipstick tucked away, a fascination with women's fashion magazines Dawn considered a passing fancy. But it wasn't until a late-night online shopping spree, a box filled with silky fabrics and sparkling accessories arriving at their doorstep, that Dawn stumbled upon Alex's secret. The evening it happened was etched in their memory. The air crackled with nervous energy as Dawn stood in the doorway, eyes wide, taking in the vision before her. Alex, transformed into Tammy, stood frozen mid-twirl, a half-applied mascara wand dangling from his hand. The expected explosion of anger, the crushing weight of disappointment, none of it came. Instead, Dawn surprised him with a soft smile. "I didn't know," she admitted, her voice gentle. Relief washed over Alex, followed by a torrent of confessions. The pent-up desire, the fear of rejection, the yearning to express himself fully. Dawn listened patiently, then came up with a proposition that turned their world upside down. "How about a deal?" she suggested. "You can be Tammy at home, but you help me get things done." Alex, initially hesitant, was swayed by the freedom to be Tammy, albeit in exchange for housework. Thus began their Friday ritual. Dawn, armed with cleaning supplies, would transform into a whirlwind of efficiency, while Alex, with the help of YouTube tutorials and stolen glances at Dawn's makeup kit, would become Tammy. The house, usually echoing with a comfortable silence, would be filled with the sounds of scrubbing, humming, and the excited chatter of Tammy, who emerged as a flamboyant, witty counterpoint to Alex's reserved nature. Fridays were a different story. Dressed in flamboyant dresses and carefully chosen accessories, Tammy ventured into the heart of the local LGBTQ+ community pub. At first, a nervous butterfly fluttered in her stomach. The cacophony of voices, the laughter, the gazes, it was overwhelming but exhilarating. Gradually, Tammy started to blossom. She struck up conversations, shared witty remarks, and even found herself flirting playfully with a regular at the bar, a warm smile always lighting up her face. Every Friday, Tammy felt a little more comfortable in her own skin. Weeks turned into months, and the routine became a comforting constant. Alex and Tammy coexisted in a beautiful harmony. Dawn offered fashion advice, helping Tammy create a signature look with bold colors and playful accessories. Tammy, in turn, brought a spark of fun and laughter into their home, even suggesting new recipes for their Friday night dinners. One fateful Friday, however, their carefully constructed world threatened to crumble. As Tammy sat at the bar, sipping a cocktail and enjoying a conversation with a new friend, the pub door swung open. A group of men entered, their laughter echoing through the room. A jolt of fear shot through Tammy. It was Alex's friends, Mark and Ben, notorious for their frequent visits to this very pub. Panic clawed at her throat. What if they recognized him? The thought of their confused stares, the potential for ridicule, sent a wave of dizziness washing over her. Tammy excused herself, rushing to the restroom, desperately trying to calm her racing heart. She emerged, choosing a different seat, praying they wouldn't see her. The minutes stretched on, an eternity of pent-up fear. Just as she thought she could breathe again, a figure loomed over her. Mark, with a slightly confused grin, extended a hand. "Hey, haven't seen you here before," he said. Tammy's heart hammered against her ribs. "Oh, I'm new in town," she stammered, trying to sound casual. They engaged in a short, awkward conversation. Thankfully, the topic never strayed towards personal details, and after a few minutes, Mark and Ben moved on to another table. Relief washed over Tammy, leaving her weak and trembling. The joy of the evening was dampened, replaced by a nagging fear. Could they ever truly be safe in this public space? Back home, she confided in Dawn, her voice cracking with anxiety. "What if they do recognize me? What if the whole world finds out?" Dawn pulled her into a comforting hug. "We'll figure it out," she reassured, a determined glint in her eyes. Maybe we can find a new pub, or perhaps you could change Tammy's look a bit. The incident sparked a conversation about the future. Alex, for the first time, voiced his deepest desire, not just to be Tammy on Fridays, but to explore this side of himself more openly. Dawn, ever supportive, suggested attending local LGBTQ+ events, a suggestion that filled Alex with both excitement and trepidation. Their journey had just begun, filled with uncharted territory and the constant fear of discovery. Yet a new sense of hope bloomed within Alex. Dawn's unwavering support gave him the courage to dream bigger. Maybe, just maybe, there was a world where Alex and Tammy could coexist, not just behind closed doors, but out in the open. One Saturday afternoon, a flyer advertising a local drag show caught Alex's eye. The vibrant costumes, the flamboyant performances, it felt like a world he desperately longed to be a part of. He hesitantly showed it to Dawn, his voice filled with a nervous excitement. "Do you think," he began, his sentence left unfinished. Dawn's smile was her answer. "Let's do it," she declared, her eyes sparkling with a shared sense of adventure. They spent the next few weeks scouring thrift stores for the perfect outfit, Dawn offering suggestions and helping with the makeup. The closer the day got, the more nervous Alex became. What if he made a fool of himself? What if the audience wouldn't accept him? The night of the show arrived, a mix of excitement and terror churning in Alex's stomach. Backstage, surrounded by seasoned performers with towering wigs and dazzling costumes, he felt completely out of his depth. Then Dawn squeezed his hand, her eyes filled with unwavering faith. Taking a deep breath, Alex stepped onto the stage. The spotlight blinded him for a moment, then the audience came into view. A sea of faces, some curious, some welcoming. He adopted Tammy's confident persona, her voice booming through the microphone as she introduced herself. The music started, a pulsating beat that filled the room with energy. Tammy, a vision in turquoise sequins and a blonde wig that defied gravity, took center stage. The performance was a blur of nervous energy and newfound liberation. Tammy shimmied and sashayed, her anxieties melting away with every beat of the music. The audience responded with cheers and applause, their acceptance a balm to Alex's soul. As the final note faded, a wave of exhilaration washed over him. He had done it. He had stepped into the light as Tammy, and the world hadn't crumbled. Backstage, adrenaline coursed through Alex. He was exhilarated, exhausted, and more importantly, hopeful. He turned to Dawn, who enveloped him in a tight hug. "You were amazing," she whispered, her eyes glistening. That night marked a turning point. Alex, emboldened by the experience, started attending LGBTQ+ events regularly, Tammy becoming a more prominent part of his life. He explored his gender identity, learning about the vast spectrum and finding a community that welcomed him with open arms. The secret remained Alex and Dawn's, a shared adventure that strengthened their bond. They learned to navigate the world together, their relationship evolving alongside their understanding of gender and identity. The journey was far from over, filled with challenges and uncertainties, but they faced them head-on, a beacon of support for each other. One sunny afternoon, while browsing through a vintage clothing store, Alex stumbled upon a dazzling emerald green dress. It was perfect, a daring statement piece that embodied the essence of Tammy. As he held it up, a familiar voice echoed from behind. "That looks like it was made for you," Mark said, a sheepish grin on his face. Alex froze, his heart pounding in his chest. "Mark?" he stammered. Mark's grin widened. "Small world, isn't it?" He chuckled. Then to Alex's surprise, he winked. "Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. By the way, love the wig at the show." Relief washed over Alex, followed by a wave of unexpected warmth. Perhaps, just perhaps, the world wasn't such a scary place after all. As he looked at Dawn, his silent partner in crime, he knew, whatever the future held, they would face it together.